What's going on, YouTube? Today I bring you my running back rankings for the 2022 NFL Draft. Once again, a pretty weak class. There are no top-level running backs in this one, but we're going to take a look at my top 10. So, starting off at number 1, we have Isaiah Spiller out of Texas A&M. Pretty nice size. He's only 19 heading into his third year. Very nice chain runner. Definitely, lacks at making those, big plays, but, very good chain runner. Got very nice strength as well. And just overall as a runner, he's very solid. Definitely lacks that elite speed. He's not going to make a lot of plays for you while running on the outside, although he can. Definitely lacks the vision to be a true elite running back, and does not have great patience either. And the other thing about him is that he just does not have huge upside. He's got a bit of upside, but I don't think he's ever going to be more than a top 20, maybe top 15 running back. So, with Isaiah Spiller, I think he's one of the more safer prospects in the class. I think, at worst, he's not going to be, horrible, but I don't think he's ever going to be, great. So, I think he is still the number 1 running back in the class. But that kind of just shows you how poor this class is if this guy is the number 1. So, yeah, that's kind of a preview at what this class is going to look like. Number 2, we have Breece Hall, a lot of people's favorite running back in this class. 20 years old, going into his 3rd season. Also really nice size. Once again, very strong runner. He is a straight-up bruiser. He creates lanes. He doesn't wait for you to open up. He creates lanes. Problem with that is he has no patience. You need at least some patience in the NFL. He just goes full speed ahead and just hopes he can knock someone over. Definitely not a good catcher and far from elusive. But as a straight up, just runner, very good. He kind of reminds me similar to this year's Najee Harris, where a lot of people are going to have him as their number 1. But at the end of the day, is he really the number 1? We'll have to see. But obviously Najee Harris is a much better running back, a much better catcher, way more elusive and way more patient. So I don't think I'm not comparing Najee Harris. I just think he might be this year's Najee Harris in terms of the draft. But yeah, Breece Hall, very good bruising back. Just not much else than that, honestly. Number 3, we have Kennedy Brooks, who, once again, is that power back. But he also has very nice speed as well. I love his vision. He's actually, pretty good at seeing the lanes and seeing the holes. He's a smaller guy, but still does have that power, but yet is elusive. Truly, he's an all-around running back. The problem with Kennedy Brooks is, once again, you kind of know what you're getting. He does not have elite upside, and most of that is because, he's already 22, in his senior year. He's not gonna ever be that elite running back, similar to Isaiah Spiller, and definitely lacks patience as well. Again, he just doesn't wait for any lanes to open up or anything, but he can still be a solid running back in the NFL, just not that huge upside, and I think he's worth probably a 2nd, 3rd round pick. I still do really like Kennedy Brooks. I know I like him a lot more than anyone else does right now, but he still just doesn't have that kind of upside that really no one in this class, this running back class does, but Number 4, we have CJ Verdell. Couldn't find his age, but he is a senior here at Oregon. Very, very nice speed. He's super elusive. Great catching, and also love his vision. This guy's pretty patient and just has really nice vision. He finds those lanes and he makes them look wider than they are. Problem is, Oregon's not facing the best defenses in college football, so and he has a very good O-line there, obviously. He had Penei Sewell and, still has a very solid offensive line. So, being that he's obviously going to put up way better production than he might in the NFL, he's had some very nice seasons in college football, but again, just give him lesser competition and that great O-line, and that's kind of what you should expect. And also not the strongest guy. He runs with more power than he has, but he's not strong. But overall, still a very nice running back. Again, I know I like this guy a bit better than some others. I was a big fan of The Oregon back from last year. Again, I'm forgetting, or not last year. I was a big fan of Royce Freeman, and he kind of reminds me a lot of Royce Freeman. So, I think, Royce Freeman's obviously more powerful, but still, very nice speed and very elusive. So I still do really like CJ Verdell here. Number 5, we have Ty Chandler, transferring from Tennessee to Northern Carolina. For his 5th year as a running back, I mean, a super senior, obviously that right away is probably going to, kill the buzz a little bit. He's already kind of got that tread. He's already starting to get up there in age. Running backs just simply are not lasting as long anymore unless you're freaks like Adrian Peterson or Frank Gore. And I don't think Ty Chandler is going to be Adrian Peterson or Frank Gore. He has all the traits. He's super athletic, and he actually does have really nice patience as well as he's pretty elusive, but he's just really struggling to put it together. 4 consecutive years at Tennessee, he just never really had that true breakout season. He never really showed it. And yeah, I think he can this year at Northern Carolina. It would help out Sam Howell a lot, like I talked about in my quarterback rankings from the other day, if you want to go watch that. But we'll see if he can. But I don't know if he is. If he doesn't, then he'll probably go undrafted, to be honest. And I think he'd be signed, because again, he still does have those traits. He has the potential, but he needs to show it, and he really just hasn't. So Ty Chandler, I do like him. I really love his upside, but he's got to show us something, even if it's in his 5th year. So number 6, we have Jerrion Ealy out of Ole Miss. Much smaller linebacker, much smaller running back, and obviously that's going to mean that you do not have the best power. He definitely needs holes in space to make plays. He does not create his own holes. He needs the offensive line to create them for him. But here's the thing: if the hole is there, he hits it hard, and once he's going, there's no stopping him. If he's got space in the field, he will make a big play. He will be gone. But he needs that lane first, and it's much, much more difficult in the NFL to create those kinds of lanes. So naturally, I feel like that's going to limit him in the NFL, which is probably going to drop his stock. So, Jerrion Ealy, another guy that could very well go undrafted if he shows that he literally cannot do anything if his offensive line isn't doing anything. And every running back needs an offensive line, yes, but this guy depends on them way too much. And so that right now is what's keeping him down here at number 6. Also a nice catcher. Number 7, we have Zonovan Knight. Super, super elusive. Maybe the most elusive back in this class. Couldn't find his age, but in his 3rd year here, he has nice size for the position. Very good catching back as well. I really love watching this guy catch. He's not the top catching back, but I'd say he's either number 2 or number 3. Here's the thing, for his elusiveness, he has really nice power to his game as well. He's sort of similar to Nick Chubb, honestly. A more elusive Nick Chubb, but not necessarily as good as Nick Chubb. Thing with Zonovan Knight, definitely does not have the speed, and again, with that, this guy cannot run on the outside. He is a straight up, down the center of the line running back, and it's sort of easy to stop that, but when you have a guy with this kind of power and elusiveness, it can be tough at times. He has zero patience, easily has the least patience in this class. He tries to hit the line so fast and so hard, but it doesn't always work out, obviously, and especially in the NFL. And once again, that can take a stock down. A lot of these running backs, they're just very dependent on one type of thing for them to play, and you can eliminate that in the NFL. Zonovan Knight just runs up the middle, stuff the middle when you think he's running. Jerrion Ealy needs the big holes. Don't give him any holes. It's stuff like that where it's obviously going to drop the stock of these guys if they don't show any more improvement in this year. So once again, another guy that really could go 7th undrafted or be a 2nd, 3rd round pick depending on how he plays. Number 8, we have Master Teague III out of Ohio State. I'm a big fan of Master Teague, but again, just needs to show it this year. Had some bad years at Oklahoma, even though they had a pretty decent offensive line, transferred over to Ohio State, and I think, now with him being the number 1 back, I think he could show some nice things. He's a very solid chain runner. I love his mix of power with speed. He's a very nice, combination of the two, but he definitely lacks elusiveness. He's never going to make you miss. lacks that vision to, again, be a truly elite running back. And he also he doesn't need the lanes for plays, but he needs the lanes for big plays. He's never going to make a big play unless there's lanes. He'll make the plays without them, though. In his 4th year here, he's already 21, so he's starting to get up there a little bit in age for a running back. But overall, I still really like Master Teague. And once again, I don't think he'll drop any farther than like the 4th or 5th round, but he could, rise up into that 2nd, 3rd round talk if he has a good year here at Ohio State. Obviously, they have a very, very good offensive line, though, so that's also going to help him out, which might drop his stock a bit. Number 9, we have Kyren Williams out of Notre Dame, and I know I am lower on this guy than a lot of people, but I just don't like these kind of running backs. He reminds me a lot of Demetric Felton, and I really did not like Demetric Felton. Now, obviously, he's a fantastic receiving back. He's easily the best in the class. He's so good at receiving that he has that receiver versatility, sort of like Demetric Felton, can really move to wide receiver if he wanted to. I think he might even... He wouldn't fit better there because he doesn't have the size to play wide receiver. And that's part of why he has to play running back, and I just don't like running backs like this. He lacks power. He's not elusive. Like, he's a great receiving back, but he's not elusive, and again, he's not a good runner and really lacks patience for being a receiving back. So, all around, I don't know why people like these types of backs, but especially guys like Kyren Williams, I don't know why they like him so much. I feel like that offense is kind of tailored for guys like Kyren Williams, and that's going to hurt him in the NFL because I don't really think any offenses in the NFL really run it like Notre Dame. So, I have him at 9. He could rise, I guess, if he shows he's more than just a catching back, but as of right now, I really don't see any need for him to be higher than number 9. And then number 10, we have Brian Robinson Jr. from Alabama. He's in his 5th year now. So I'm assuming he's probably 22, 23, but I couldn't find his age. Maybe he's younger. Does have really nice size, but he's been the backup at Alabama for the past 4 years. Obviously played under Najee Harris for a while there. Very nice power. He creates lanes. He has that type of power. He will create the holes. He will create the big plays for you. And he has a whole ton of upside. But he just doesn't have a lot of starting experience, and he's also not elusive at all. He's never going to make you miss, but he will run you over. And it really depends on how he plays this year. If he plays great, he could be a 2nd-round pick, because he has that kind of potential and he can be that good. But, maybe he had some very good running backs starting over him, obviously, there at Alabama. So maybe it's just that. Maybe he was just, not being given a fair chance, but he still put up solid production as a backup. So if he plays well enough as a starter, could move up into the 2nd round. But again, just the tread and the experience, the fact that there's tread and age, but not a lot of experience is not a good thing that NFL teams are going to want. So I think number 10 is a fair enough spot for him right now, but he could move up a ton in these rankings. And then are just some other take note in these guys. Eric Gray out of Oklahoma. I probably would have him higher. I do like Eric Gray, but I don't think he's going to be getting a ton of production and snaps because of Kennedy Brooks. So there's that. Tyler Algier, I think that's how you say it, out of BYU. I liked what he showed last year, but he definitely has to show a lot more than that if he wants to go drafted. And then Zamir White. This is kind of more of like a predictive pick for a lot of people that he's going to break out and stuff. I definitely do think he can break out. I like his play. He's pretty elusive, but also has some secret power to his game. But it really does depend on how he plays this year, if he can break out or not to be even drafted. So yeah, just take note of these guys as well. But that is going to be the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like the video, like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Tomorrow we're going to be doing our edge rankings for the 2021 NFL season. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see all you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.